Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me today on my special birthday, which is the 23rd of February in 2023, and I'm turning 23. I'd like to begin this special episode on my YouTube channel by giving a personal shout out to my mother, who bore me and gave me the gift of life. I call her Mamsie Gemstone. She calls me Namzi. I know she's watching this, and I love you eternally, eternally, eternally. Thank you. The gift of motherhood is indeed priceless. Now, as I thought of this birthday, because this is something I've thought of since time immemorial, I just thought to myself, what special way can I celebrate this day, and what way can I remember this day as well, days to come? And so I came up with something I'd like to call the 23 things. And it's basically a letter to my younger self and a letter to my present self as I go about this new year of life. Just a couple of random things, some deep, some not so deep, some intense, some not so intense, that I'd like to share on this special day. So we may begin with point number 1, which is having faith in God forever and always. This is paramount for you, and this works for you too. Having grown up Catholic and a believer, I feel that there are days when, of course, we wallow in our faith and we feel sad or we feel overwhelmed. But for me, I want to be more intentional about building and cultivating a relationship with God and just letting Him take the wheel of my life. Because as I saw somewhere in someone's room, she has a cute poster that's written, "Life is fragile, handle with prayer." Point number 2, people don't often change who or what they are. What you see is what you get. When you initially meet people, you have an intuitive feeling about them, whether they're polite or crude, kind or mean, and the like. Often people will not stray too far from the character that they present to you, and this is what you should be working with. I know that this may be debatable because sometimes people might ask, when is it that you'll see this thing that people can't change about themselves? It might be in the beginning, it might be afterwards, or it might be never at all, because really it depends on the individual and the circumstance. But as this went through my head, I remember thinking, sometimes I used to grow up over emphasizing on people's versions of themselves that I want them to be and not taking things as were. So as I'm going up in life and growing older, I just wanted me to know that what you see, what you relate with is often what you get, because we all have our distinct personalities and ideas that is very difficult to stray from at some point. Point number 3, it's important to choose your mindset, a good one for that matter, especially on days you're unable to choose yourself. Now, for a really long time, you have been bound by negative thoughts and sometimes harmful self-talk, saying things to yourself that you'd never say to people. But when the change happens and you change something small about your mind and work towards a greater, bigger thing, it is much better than having negative self-talk. The term self-talk was awakened to me by one of my psychology mentors. And I remember she was trying to get me to introduce myself to someone who's a bit older than me. And I remember being like, no, there's nothing to talk about. I'm not going to do it. This person would not be interested in a conversation. And she just looked at me and said, Ashley, can you stop negative self-talk? It is very detrimental. And I realized we do this so much. When you do something that's not as successful as you want it to be, you'll be so hard on yourself. You'll probably say, I'm a failure. This is the worst thing. How could you let this happen? But if a friend or someone you cared for did the same thing and came to you, you'd be more receptive. You'd be kind. So I just want to practice self-kindness as I grow older. And I hope this is something that people out there can practice as well. Point number 4. If you sit wallowing in self-pity, you might be sitting such a long time. Pain can overstay. Happiness, we think, is fickle, but really, you have to know you can only have positive or negative feelings one at a time. You cannot sow and harvest all together. My high school principal used to tell us during assembly, whenever we'd fail the exams, like when you're doing chemistry or bio, and then all of you have negative 50%. And she's like, some of you think that high school is just a passing tide, but really misery loves numbers. And I remember having that ring in my head over and over again. What does misery loves numbers mean? It means that the element of misery and the element of happiness are different in that when it comes to misery, it's sort of easier to stay in it because, you're not really working hard to feel bad. But when it comes to happiness, you have to go out of your way, step the extra mile, and sort of find it within yourself and on your own. Whereas back to misery, you can't just lay low and feel it with other people. So tying back to the third point, happiness, positive self-talk, that's what I'm all about this year. And definitely there's a difference between allowing yourself to feel and just totally distracting yourself from that emotion. Okay, point 1 to 4 have been very heavy. Let's go to something lighter, which is KFC's double crunch burgers, emphasis, exclamation mark. Such an obsession of yours. Generally, chicken is and forever will be an obsession of mine. Whenever I serve food anywhere I am, I'm just like, do you have chicken? You do, you have chicken? Thank you. Okay, put chicken on my plate. So that would be my 5th point. The 6th one is sometimes when you make a man know you love him, you're giving him unnecessary power. Love is a beautiful thing, yes, but as they say, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Now, as a passionate, ardent, and deep lover, as an individual, as Namachanja Ashley Nasambu, I've come to see that over this period of my life, the few, as my uncle says, years that I've lived on earth, I find myself sometimes when I like someone giving a lot of myself to them. And so when I came up with the point of unnecessary power, I just felt, I'm trying to be very cautious because I know some of my friends will come for me. I just felt that it would have been nicer had I not told them how I felt, because I told them how I felt assuming I'd have a Jabulani Kumbaya happiness fairy tale ending, but it didn't really end as much as I wanted it to. And I ended up being so indebted and so reliant on them over and over and over again. And it reminds me of this song by Brandy, Have You Ever Loved Someone, where she goes, have you ever loved somebody so much it makes you cry? Have you ever? Yep, I know. When you love someone and you cry, you know it's real. But I will not overemphasize because that point is personal. So we cut our onions and we move on to the next point, which is point number 7. Massive achievements of age 22 include your graduation and vast travel to Paris, Spain, and US. I just had to throw that in there. It was very exciting. You find it very fascinating how people all over different cultures in the world live lives differently at the same time. And that was so intriguing for you. And also your graduation will be a myriad of emotions that only you can understand. Age 22 was me feeling many things for the first time and alone, because you see, people are telling you congratulations on graduating, but you're the one graduating, so you have to process that. And that's just a milestone that I wanted my older self not to overlook in case she ends up overlooking it. Point number 8, one old habit that will not die hard soon is blasting of music in your ears. Special shout out to Auntie Ruth because she got me my first ever pair of headphones, and they're pink. I love pink. I absolutely love pink. Music, I believe, feels way better when it's loud, when it's in your ears, because that way you're able to listen to the minor notes, the minor harmonies, the minor emotions that you might not have picked up before. And so for me, I don't think I'll ever not play loud music. Yeah. Point number 9. Forgiveness, if for anyone, is for yourself and of yourself too. Forgiveness, if for anyone, is for yourself and of yourself too. I used to think that forgiveness was something that's mandatory, right? Something that you have to do. But sometimes I realized my fixation with forgiveness was an over-entitlement to an apology, right? So someone steps on my shoe and you have to tell me sorry, then we're okay. But now that I'm growing older, I just want me to know that forgiveness, if for anyone, is for myself and of myself too. Not being too hard on myself and not being too hard on other people at the same time. Point number 10, which is related to the bhakti. Do you know you actually believed when you were younger that you'd buy your dream car? I'm not going to say my dream car because I'm kind of stereotypic sometimes and I don't want to jinx it. Buy my dream car on my 23rd birthday. Lol. But come on, dreams are valid. The only driving I'm doing is driving some Nairobi boys crazy. So we'll try again in 2024. Just a disclaimer. I know. My aunties and elder cousins, and my brothers always telling me, And even my mom, driving, you'll just do it, you'll get tired after some point. It's just normal. It's not normal to me. I look forward to driving. I just feel like when I'm pulling up in Nairobi, everyone has to see me. So that's a personal thing that I'll hopefully hold myself accountable to in 2024. Yeah. Point number 11. The essence of time is in practicality, timeless. It is something valuable and something you need to experience other than rush over or take for granted. With time, what is meant to be yours shall be yours, even if at that moment you want it to be yours now. Cherish the gift of time. It is one of those gifts that once gone is absolutely gone. For me, time is something that I'm now taking more personally and more gratefully. Is that a real English word? Anyway, yeah, and I'm being more grateful for, because I just remember the other day I had a birthday when I was like 11 and I had a cake that had my picture on it and I was so excited. Now I'm celebrating my 23rd birthday. And I realized in a world that's ever on the move, a world that's very, very quick to tell you what you should have achieved at a certain point, it's very easy to take for granted the essence and the value of time. So like Cool and the gang said, we should cherish. See what I did there? We should cherish absolutely in totality the gift of time, wherever you're at in your life. Number 12. The one thing you need to be loyal to is a skincare routine. It shows, it glows, and it is good practice. Cue in me very much struggling with a night routine. I really don't like showering before I sleep. I have friends who do it loyally. They would even shower every hour of every day if they could, but a night routine, I'm not really up on that, I will not lie, but a morning routine, I have been trying. I am extremely obsessed with Nivea. I'm a Nivea babe. I never skip their adverts. I'm always on their pages and I'm always trying out their latest products. I love Garnier Vitamin C. I love Neutrogena face wash. And I don't know how to pronounce that word, so I'm just going to say micellar water, also by Nivea, because I am a Nivea babe. Point number 13. Some people in this world are naturally evil. They wake up and they plan to do evil things to you even if you show them kindness. It doesn't mean that you should beat yourself up for it. That is a them problem. Let them be as far as possible as they can from you. This coming from a person who is generally attached to people at friendship level and at all other levels. I usually find myself naturally expecting everyone to be kind to me. So for example, when me and my struggling self are entering the matatus, the conductors of the state know my name, and the conductor says something mean to me, I'll take it very personal. But I've just realized there's diversity in life, and I don't really need to have people who are not as optimistic or as courteous to me as I want them to be around me if I have the option of just letting them be and letting it not get into my head. So just realizing that there's a duality of life. There's the good and the bad. There's the evil and the beautiful. There's the holy and the unholy. So just letting that sink in my mind. Point number 14. November 14th is now added to my sentimental calendar. And July 31st, 2022, when we went to Glassnote Candle Bar. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely unforgettable, and I hope that they know just how much I care for them and just how much I appreciate them going out of their way for me. I'm those people who has a normal calendar, a sentimental calendar, and then a to-do list calendar, which is very random. But in my sentimental calendar, I just love to capture the dates that are very, very, very worthwhile for me. And for me, July 31st and November 14th are one of those days. I know you're waiting. I have friends who want details like this. They want I want to know how the cat fell and where it went after it fell and if it woke up after it fell, but I'm not going to share the details of this story. It's intense. It's a nice story. You can look for me after and ask me the story. Point number 15. Authentic family and friends are an immeasurable blessing. You have people in your life who would die for you twice and who love you more than you love yourself. That, again, is an immeasurable blessing. I cannot even begin to explain or encompass just how much love I feel for my loved ones. And I know they all know themselves offhand, and you know how much I love you and I care for you deeply. And I'm truly indebted, because to have love, such a beautiful feeling where someone considers you other than themselves, and is able to give you anything in this world that they possibly could, I think that is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And I love you guys so much. And I know you're also here with me on my birthday, and I appreciate every single thing that you've done for me. So thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Point number 16. Confidence, self-worth, and grit are things that can never be extrinsic. Now, shout out to my cousin, Sarah. Hi, how are you? I hope you're fine. I know you're staying stunning. Always tells me that one day you will have to have these things and you can only have them on your own. So what you're saying is just that there are things that you've got to teach yourself. There are things that you've got to nurture from within if you want them to serve you your lifetime. I remember growing up and we all learned how to, let's say, count, right? That was something that your teacher taught you. Or learning how to smile. Maybe someone told you, okay, show your teeth, and then you have a smile. But when it comes to the feelings that we need to have internally, such as the gratitude you have for things, the hope that you have in things, the faith that you have, the confidence, the grit, the necessity to keep on going even when things are difficult. Those are things that people will and may tell you about, but not all the time will people teach you how to do that. You have to teach yourself, and you have to be willing to go the extra mile. So those are things that I'm working on, especially grit and consistency. I mean, one day I say I'm waking up at 6 a.m. The next morning I'm waking up at 11, but that's random. So we'll move on to the next point, which is number 17. You are allowed to be disinterested in someone who makes perfect sense on paper. Sometimes you feel obliged to like someone because they're kind or they adore you, but really you're not. Same way they aren't. This is something I struggled with because when I first started hitting on people, I'd be so entitled. I'd be like, I am all this. You should be so in love with me. You should be on your feet. You should be calling Java to send me some Java love and buying me wine and just saying, I want to talk to you every minute and every second of every day. But I'm growing up, I'm getting older, and I'm realizing that really this obligation we feel just because people are nice people to give them love is just an obligation. It hurts much more to be with someone because you're obliged to than it hurts. Actually, it doesn't hurt to be with someone when you want them to. Maybe it does in other ways, but not as much as when someone feels you're being with them because you have to be with them, you know? So for me, for all those people who did not feel obliged to be with me, it's okay. I'm over it now. I'm over it now. I'm over it now. Point number 18, overthinker, overfeeler, highly HSP, which is highly sensitive person. Usually, if people feel something, you feel it all the times more, be it good things or bad things. I can be taking a walk one day and someone has littered and I'll be so annoyed. I'll just stand there looking at the bottle and I'll think, you couldn't just wait. There's a dustbin right there. You couldn't just wait, throw it away. Or I'll be watching Titanic, all-time favorite classic. I have movies that I've watched over 1,000 times, and I'll think to myself, Rose is just there. She's chilling. See what I did there? A pun. That was very fantastic. You have to admit. You just see Rose there chilling, and you start crying, or rather, I start crying. I'm dripping tears. I'm shedding. I'm getting more Velvex to blow out my nose. Or when good things happen, such as my friends getting promotions or just cooking food and feeling like, wow, this is it. This is the talent right there. I feel really, really good. So when it comes to normal people, there's normal people feelings. And then on the far end is Nama Chanja and all her HSP nature, which is something I feel is both a good thing and a bad thing because we're allowed to feel emotions. So people who feel them more maybe can feel more than what you're feeling, and the more can be a good thing. I choose to believe. I choose to believe. Point number 19. The one thing you can never know for sure is someone's thoughts. Even if they do tell you, only what they truly think is known to them. Now, at this moment in time, you may think a certain thing, and I may be thinking of something, but I can tell you, okay, I'm thinking of getting makeup done at Mark later after this, or I'm thinking of going to university again to review my undergrad. No, we don't do that there. We're only going above, but those are examples. And you may believe what I've decided to tell you because I made it sound convincible, but I realized it hit me some random day at night that you really can't tell what people are thinking, can you? You can have a great estimate or you can have a strong feel, but can you really, really tell what people are thinking? Well, let me know. Let me know if you can. If you're a mind reader, let me know. Point number 20. Friendships too need cultivation, effort, sacrifice, intentionality, and romance. So this in a meme. Friendship is saying, I miss you. Okay, let's meet in December. Because you have to schedule dates into your calendar, literally, to meet people, especially now that you're older. For those of us who've graduated, okay, for those of us who are above 844 system, you know that you're no longer bound by primary class or high school classes or university lectures. You're out here in the real world, and you really do have to be double intentional on seeing people, on finding out how they are, on letting them know how you are, and just making the friendships work. And I like to be an intentional person with my friends. I'm hoping my friends will agree with this extremely on the comment section, but I really do try to give the whole of my heart to my friendships. And that is something that I want to be doing more as I grow up, because I know as I grow up, more responsibilities and more liabilities will come, and friendship is something that I don't ever want to lose with the people that I have. Number 21. One of the hardest things to do, yet one of those things that you must do, is to keep hope alive. When all else is lost or it seems lost, this is the one thing that will get you by. You need a lot of hope when you get to your 20s. There's this Marvin Gaye song I know I've been singing throughout the video, but it's my birthday and we love music because of Bless It in Our Ears by Marvin Gaye and, gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Marvin Gaye and You're All I Need. Why am I forgetting her name? I listen to her like all the time. Tammy Terrell. Yes. Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell that says, You're all I need to get by. So it goes like, You're all I need to get by. I really love that duet. I love all their 30-something plus duets. And in that duet, when they say you're all I need to get by, I've really come to see that when it comes to hope, you need it to get by, because each day is a new experience, each day is a new surprise. And as I was beginning the year, I said to myself, I want to be those people who have a word for the year, but be extra and have two. So I said I'll have hard work and I'll have hope. So I just want to always frequently have that hope with me and alive in me, and also have the grace to share it and be a source of hope to other people as well. Yes. Number 22. This one is written in caps. I might be shouting this point out. You might want to reduce the volume. I'm giving you the disclaimer. You're not reducing the volume. Okay, fine. Red velvet cake with cream cheese, 1,000 exclamation marks. Supreme. I've had the same profile picture since forever. My friend this morning told me, happy birthday, but please change your profile. It's been 8 years. We've seen it enough now. They told, of course, I'm not going to remove the red velvet from my profile. Who, me? No. I love red velvet cake. I just love cakes. I'm a sweet tooth. Whoever invented this cake got it right. They got it absolutely right. And I know, I love this cake so much. I've overemphasized, but I hope the point is home. And lastly, point number 23. This is your golden year. Turning 23 on the 23rd of February in 2023. Such a beautiful synchronous pattern. This is bliss. For me, as I said in the beginning, this is something I've been looking forward to. I just love the pattern, 23, 23, 23. You know, the number 23, so beautifully and fearfully and wonderfully made. And I just wanted to let myself know that this is my year. I know some people are lucky enough to have this pattern in their birthday periods, other people are not. It doesn't matter. A birthday is a time of so much bliss and so much gratitude for another year around the sun. And as I go around this year around the sun, I'm so glad that you got to share it with me. And I can only but hope and wait and see what this year holds for me. I have loved sharing these points in this video. If you have anything else you'd love for me to know, I would appreciate it. I'm absolutely open to bouts of wisdom or bouts of randomness or bouts of whatever you'd like me to know. And I just want to thank you one last time for sharing this moment with me. Lots of love. XOXO, hugs and kisses. Take care. Bye-bye.